There are of course they are of course at much higher risk for death, but if the algae that feed on them return, they can resume normal function. So if we reduce the temperatures or at least stop increasing ocean temperatures, then coral can be preserved and hopefully restored. If coral can be preserved, then potentially we could find a way to change its characteristics to be able to withstand warmer ocean climates. Simple methods can also be employed every day to preserve the ocean reefs. For example, the less water you use, the less runoff and wastewater pollute the oceans. And planting a tree can help lower the overall temperatures of the planet. Other things that you can do could be easily overlooked are kinds of production chemicals used on lawns. Even someone living thousands of miles from the ocean can have an effect on what flows into the ocean and how various forms of marine life are able to sustain themselves. Recycling can also be massively helpful in preventing oceanic pollution. 18 billion pounds of plastic are also entering the ocean every year. That's equivalent to 5 plastic bags full of trash for every foot of coastline on Earth. Large swaths of plastic waste are distributed across the ocean everywhere. Marine animals ingest and die from this plastic that has covered the ocean floor as well as the surface. Sustained pollution from industrial, agricultural, and urban production has already created mass dead zones, which are places where pollution has robbed marine life of the oxygen they need to survive. There are already more than 400 dead zones on the globe. A few years ago in Baja California, I went with my family to snorkel on the reef of Cabo Pulmo. It was a quiet beach, and we were pretty much the only people there all day. We rented a boat and snorkeled around the bay and had a good time. When we returned for lunch, a local told us of a place to snorkel. He said it was the most amazing sight we would ever see. We had a guide take us to that place after lunch. I had no real idea of what to expect. On the ride out, the guide told us there would be some fish to watch out for. A pretty fish called a jack that's about a foot and a half to 2 feet long on average. So we hopped out of the boat, and once we got into the water and put on our masks, I looked down into the water for the first time. I saw not a few, but several thousand jacks forming a cyclone just beneath my feet, reaching into the depths of the dark blue ocean. It was only a little bit absolutely horrifying, but astonishing at the same time. There were more animals than I had ever seen at any one given time in my life. There must have been 10,000 of them just beneath my feet. But Cabo Pulmo has not always been so filled with life. Just 30 years ago, it had been fished out completely and was entirely desolate. There were hardly any fish at all. But one family that owned the land decided to ban fishing on the reef, and within 30 years, it has absolutely exploded into one of the most vibrantly beautiful underwater sanctuaries in the world. One family changed the course for millions of little creatures in the ocean. I can't help but wonder if everyone did the same.